We'll call the Williams County Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, August 4th to order. Beth, please call roll.
Barry?
Here.
Steve? Absent. Bo?
Here.
Chris?
Here. We have a quorum. We'll proceed. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item C, consent agenda. Any comments, questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Barry?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item D, this is the spot on our agenda that is open to public comment. If you have something you wish to address the commission with that is not on the agenda, now is the time. Looks pretty quiet. We will move on to item E, planning and zoning.
Good morning. Michelle Haugen with County Planning. The item we have for you guys today is LU-0055-26, which is Jason Schneekloth, who is requesting a conditional use permit for a second dwelling within the rural residential zoning district. This is located in sublot 3 of the northwest of section 1, township 159 north, range 97 west, being Hazel Township. As of July 28th, we had not received comment back from Hazel Township. The applicant is requesting the conditional use permit for an additional single-family residence on the subject property. Property is approximately 13.41 acres and is within that rural residential zoning district, which allows for a second dwelling with an approved conditional use permit. The applicant is working through the building permit process to bring in and place a manufactured home to the north of the existing home on the property. The new home will be their primary residence, while the current home will be used mainly for storage and the occasional guest who comes to visit. Access to the subject property is off of 115th Avenue Northwest. When Planning and Zoning heard this item on July 16th, they did recommend approval with a vote of 7-0.
Is the applicant present? Do you have anything to add? Pretty well covers it. Perfect. Questions, comments? If there aren't any, what are the wishes?
I would make a motion to approve LU-0055-26.
Thanks. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Corey?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Short planning and zoning. Holy smokes. Does anybody have any questions for Michelle or Cameron since we have extra? No. Okay. Let's move on to item F. Lindsay, you're up.
All right, I have more items than planning and zoning did. All right, the first item today relates to our Builder Buyer Housing Incentive Program. The program has been in place since last April. We've done quite a few homes through the program, both on the builder side and the buyer side. Have had good feedback from the bankers and the builders and the buyers that have used it. Right now, after today's application approvals that were part of the consent agenda, we're down to a little over $50,000. We started with 1.3 million, first come, first served basis. So if there is interest in continuing the program to grow the single family home inventory, I have a recommendation to continue funding the program with an additional $800,000 from the Crew Housing Fund through the end of next year. And then with that, the only program change that I would seek in that continuation is just making it a firm project price, sales price, listing price limit of 600,000. Right now, it's been kind of a moving target based on the FHA mortgage loan limit, but based on what we're seeing, I think at least then for the next year, we just keep it at that limit and makes it a little bit easier to understand too.
Okay, any questions for Lindsay? Everybody understands what she's requesting? What are the wishes?
I would move to approve the additional program funding and update the price listing and the price total project and the limit as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Discussion. Roll call, please.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes. Motion carried.
Thanks. Okay, the next item has to do with the Williams County Kratom Committee that the board established at the previous commission meeting with Commissioner Anderson as chair. So since then, Commissioner Anderson and I worked to identify different types of committee members and then individuals that would be interested in serving on that committee to provide some information and support. Obviously, the events of yesterday from the governor and the state with the new ban coming out on the 5th for Kratom at the state level has changed things a little bit in a positive direction, perhaps. And so incorporating that into then the mission of that committee to provide then feedback to the commission and going into the legislature's upcoming special session. So in your packet is that list of recommended committee members. I'm still working on trying to identify a Kratom retailer to serve on that committee. And then we would have our initial meeting on Monday, August the 17th. And so looking for your consensus and approval of that committee makeup and meeting date, and then being able to identify that Kratom retailer, we can approve that later.
With looking at the information that came out yesterday from the governor and I mean it's a 30-day ban, which is it's a great start. I think that still gives this committee a great opportunity to get information together and get the support off to our representatives who are going to be going into a special session to take care of this. So I really, I mean, I think this is still just a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, Lindsay and I talked about it yesterday some too, but I think the importance of this committee now becomes gathering information, making sure the folks in the community know we're working towards a solution for Williams County, but we can also work with the legislature in their special session. So actually I see our first meeting is August 17th. When do you know if they go into special session, when they would start?
September 2nd.
September 2nd.
Yep.
So that, I think this is actually going to work out. I mean, to some, it seems like it may be a slow process, but getting things right is a slow process. I mean, I understand, but I joke about the speed of government, but the reason we do it is so we get it right. So.
Okay, so we're going to need a motion to approve the committee, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I would so move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thanks. Okay. Next item is our 2026 Behavioral Health Grant Program. So we haven't run the formal full grant program since 2023, and this new version of the program does incorporate funding from both the 1% sales tax extension, but also our opioid settlement. So the program puts forth $500,000 for grants. $450,000 would be from the sales tax revenue that's allocated for health and behavioral health, and then $50,000 through our national opioid settlement. The important thing to note on the opioid dollars is it does have to be specific to opioid remediation, and we do have to tie it to the core strategies and approved uses that are in the settlement documents. And that will all be tracked and confirmed through the program itself. An individual applicant cannot apply for more than $100,000, but there's a variety of different things that they can do to make up that amount, with a focus on personnel, workforce development, increasing of services, onboarding new employees, providing for group programming and hardship assistance. So quite similar to the previous versions in 21 and 23, just a little bit different with the opioid piece this time.
Okay,
So-
any questions?
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Just within the review process, this grant program does have a separate review committee, so that we can introduce people who work out in this world as well. And so the recommended committee makeup that I would be seeking approval for within the program would be Commissioner Kemp as the commission representative, Sheriff Quandy, Shar Farrell, the director of Northwest Behavioral Health Clinic, and then Javane Oilo, the UMDHU executive director. We collaborate with them on the opioid settlement as well. And then there's an initial meeting date in the program details as well.
Okay, what are the wishes?
I'd move to approve this behavioral health grant program and the recommendations presented by Lindsay.
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? Discussion? Roll call, Beth.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and the last item is a new grant program, again, leveraging the dollars that were allocated for health through the Williams County 1% sales tax extension, with a focus on critical access hospitals with emergency departments. We do have 2 here in Williams County. I'm going to focus on capital improvement, just working through a lot of different grant programs and loan programs, and even the rural health transformation programs that come down. It's really difficult to get flexible dollars that can be applied to capital improvements, whether you're renovating or building new, updating. And some of our hospital infrastructure has been around for a long time, which is good. That it still is here, but does need a little extra financial help. The recommendation is to put $900,000 towards that program, with then again the focus of the critical access hospitals, one in Williston and one in Tioga, and a recommended split of 60% towards Williston and 40% towards Tioga, roughly based on. Oh, I broke my pen. Roughly based on bed count, and just still trying to maintain a proportion that has a significant amount that can contribute towards substantial work. I know that at this point that hadn't been super established when this was discussed at budget time. So just putting that forth as my recommendation. And noting also too that these funds are available for the next 2 years. So they would be able to apply now on a rolling basis. The finance committee would review the applications, make the recommendation to the commission, but spending could start in 27 and then it would be through 28. So they could apply for each review cycle. If there were additional expenses, they could wait until a later time depending on what they're doing. So a little bit of flexibility with time, and that $900,000 allocated over the next 2 years.
I got to ask a silly question. How did we come up with 900,000?
That is based on revenue projections of sales tax dollars coming in. And then with all the different ways that those dollars are spent, 900 was the kind of comfortable amount for knowing that that would be there for the next 2 years.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Is that fair? Okay. It's not weird. It's
Okay.
not fun. So.
That's right. It would be too easy if they were all the same, right? What any questions, comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to recommend a change in the split. I appreciate the work that Lindsay has done on this and Helen, just based upon the size of the hospitals in the communities and the amount of volume. The ER in Williston will see more patients in a month than ER in Tioga, and I don't want to diminish the value of Tioga's hospital, but just based upon the volume of people that move through these systems, I'd like to recommend or propose that we change that from 60% Williston, 40% Tioga to 80% Williston, 20% Tioga. Just for discussion, I'd like to share that this morning.
Okay, thank you.
What you said that the recommendation was based on bed count. Do you know what the total like actual usage is? I guess the numbers I saw for Tioga was like 2,200 or something per year.
So from a comparable, trying to keep it comparable. So again, at the end of the day, they are two different communities. They're two different hospitals. They see relatively the same clientele, but different. At the end of the day, though, they're both 25 bed critical access hospitals. So using that as the base. And then currently Tioga has 3 emergency department beds. And then with the CHI expansion, they would be up to 16. So just simply in trying to keep it relatively comparable, because at the end of the day, too, it's we're $900,000 for a capital improvement project isn't a lot. So also trying to keep it in a substantial amount on that split to be able to do something, meaningful with construction dollars. And that's why at the end of the day, they're not necessarily the same because Tioga offers services that CHI doesn't. CHI has surgeries and equipment that Tioga doesn't. We could nickel and dime it all day. I was trying to keep it simple. So that's just where that recommendation had come from.
I think my only thought on it, and I appreciate you bringing it forward to have discussion on it, but 20% is $180,000. That doesn't sound like enough to help a project anymore, which is a sad thing to say. I think it's really cutting it down too much. And if we need to, I guess if CHI is $180,000 short, I think there's other ways to find money for them too. So but doubling that money could let Tioga do a project, in my opinion. I mean, maybe that's not enough either, but it just seems like too small of a number.
So the one thing that I talked to briefly to CHI administration was I challenged them to give us more information, because I think the emergency room project that CHI is going to do is huge. And I think probably the majority of the bad press that our hospital gets right now is due to the ER. It's tight spaces, they're tight staffed, and their project is moving into the old birthing center and going to add either double the beds and private rooms. And I mean, I've used the emergency room recently myself, and I would appreciate that. I mean, having privacy and in a vulnerable state is important. So I also appreciate what Mr. Wallstead is asking. I would like to see if we can find additional funds above and beyond this in the future. One question I was going to ask was, do you know, is there federal or state funding that they could apply for that needs matched local funds or anything like that?
No, and that's kind of the tough. Well, for construction, that's the limitation. Technically, the Rural Health Transformation Program will only allow renovation in certain circumstances under whatever the rules are. And my understanding is that's not going to be an immediate thing that'll be rolling out at the state level, because remember, there's the federal, and then the state has to get their budget approved by CMS, and that has to roll down to actual implementation. So in terms of initial funding, no, that's kind of the harder part. That's why a lot of hospitals have to do the fundraising. So this would be able to help fill that gap part. And to just a reminder, as part of the program, it's not an automatic, like they still have to apply, there's still eligible expenses, they have to provide additional information. It still goes to finance committee for review and then the board for approval. It's not just a, straight amount.
But if sales tax revenues are better than we expected, I mean, there could possibly be room for additional grant funding.
That would be within your purview.
Yeah.
And that's why these will go to finance. So.
And I would agree with everything so far, but I do think Corey is right. I think if we cut it down to 20%, it really ain't enough to get any size of a ball rolling. So I myself would prefer to stick to the 60-40, but
Okay, we need more questions, comments? Not, I would entertain a motion of some sort.
I would, I would make a motion to approve the grant funding as stated, I guess.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just want for full disclosure, you and the public to know that I am an employee of CHI, but will in no way benefit directly from this grant program.
Thanks for doing that, Chris. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Corey,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Lindsay. That's all.
I'm all done now.
Come on now. We'll call you back in just a minute. I just got to check quick. Did I miss any department heads? Anybody need to speak? No? Helen, I guess you're up.
Good morning. All right, you see on the positions and appointments staff report, when I submitted it late last week, there weren't any positions to be filled. And although I was gone on vacation yesterday, checked my email, does not appear to be anymore. So we're in the clear there.
That's impressive.
All right, second item, the 2027 proposed budget. Typically, our finance director would make this presentation, but she was unavailable to be here today. So just for the public's review, you all know how the budget process works. The finance director and the county administrator spend much of May and June meeting with department heads, compiling budget requests and revenue estimates. And then we have budget workshop meetings in the middle of July, in which you all review what we hope is a balanced budget at the time that we present it. You all make decisions about inclusions, things to take out, whatever it is that you all determine needs to be changed. You receive then a copy of that draft or preliminary budget as it was reviewed and approved by all of you during those workshops. That is the document that we would provide to the public if anybody had questions about what our planned budget was. But then we do, by statute, need to set a hearing date, and that is the date in which the public could come in and visit with you all and ask questions if they had them related to the budget. We have previously done this at the second meeting in September, and so we list that there as your option. September 15th, 8 a.m. is the hearing date. If you want to finalize that, we would appreciate it. And certainly, I'm here to answer questions that you might have about the budget or facilitate discussion you guys all want to have also.
Okay, what are the wishes? Meeting.
I would make a motion to approve the September 15th hearing date.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes, motion carried.
Great, thank you. Then you'll see there are five documents actually for your approval. We request the chairman have the authority to sign. They relate to housing inmates at the correctional center. Four are an amendment because we had existing agreements. And I think what they determined in this process is that raise had never been formally approved. And so that isn't an amendment, but it's the same exact content. The Century Code requires that we have agreements in place for the cities that we hold inmates for. And the changes here are primarily administrative. The sheriff explained to me that we have a software system that we use for billing. Some of the details in the original agreements didn't flow through the billing system effectively. And so this is primarily just to change the language to make sure what we can do in the software is reflected in the agreement.
Okay, any questions on that? Or
Can we approve all 5 at the same time?
Yes.
Or, okay. I would make a motion to approve these 5 inmate housing agreements. And authorize chairman to sign. Thank you.
I'll second that.
that was impressive. Chris thought it and it came out here. I like it. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bo,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes, motion carried.
All right. That's all I have for you, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for Helen?
Do you,
Wait, Beth might have a question.
Do they also have to approve the proposed budget as well as setting the hearing date?
There is no Century Code provision that requires counties to approve a preliminary budget. We did a little research last week. Cities have to have an approved preliminary budget. Counties have to have a preliminary budget presented and available for the public, but it doesn't appear to be the same process.
do we need to discuss or any extension stuff with the board? I mean, we're absent ag extension agent now. She's
Oh,
just a
yes.
little update on that department.
Right. So the NDSU Extension Department does have, as you know, folks who are employed by NDSU Extension out of Fargo, and our ag agent resigned last week or the week before, is taking an extension job actually over the border in Montana. And we do have a retirement coming out of that department as well. And so I have a meeting with the folks from NDSU Extension, actually the HR director and I do later this week, and which will calibrate a little bit how we are covering. It's both 4-H and ag. It may be that NDSU Extension will employ two agents, one to do 4-H and one to do ag. But we need confirmation from them that they have staff availability and money to have those positions. If not, I would come to you potentially to employ the 4-H position out of Williams County.
Wanted you guys to know because I have bragged before that we were full of staff and doing lots of things. Now we're lacking most of our staff, but we still have Caitlin manning the ship.
Sometimes when we say it out loud, then
Yeah,
bad things happen.
yeah, that's right. So lesson learned, keep your mouth shut.
This trip is going great. You know, that's when you get a flat tire.
Perfect. Any other questions? Hearing none. Looks to me like we are adjourned 8:28.